Weekly Review. News from Turkmenistan. Disappearance of Alisher Sahatov and Abdullah Orusov. The guardians of the Constitution keep playing silence. 24 days have passed since activists Alisher Sahatov and Abdullah Orusov disappeared after leaving a deportation camp in Turkey. 24 days, and not a single word from the Turkish side. Not a hint from the Turkmen side. Is it really possible in the 21st century for people to simply vanish? The constitutions of Turkmenistan and Turkey guarantee the right to freedom and personal safety. International law does too, but as it turns out, these guarantees are nothing but beautifully written lines that the authorities themselves trample on. At an online meeting dedicated to this issue, activists and civil representatives declared, "The guardians of the Constitution have themselves become its violators." A paradox? No, just the reality of a system where power considers itself above the law. Natural disaster in Noker, a mudflow unnoticed by state media. A mudflow hit Noker this week. Destruction, possibly victims, people in need. But state media, silence. The government, silence as well. They are afraid to even acknowledge that disasters happen in the country. Because if they admit it, they would have to provide help. And helping the people is not part of their agenda. Once again, activists and independent media had to raise the alarm and demand that those who lost homes and livestock receive assistance. In a true state, the most valuable asset is the people. In Turkmenistan, the most valuable asset seems to be silence. Teachers raise their voices, protest on the 1st of September. Teachers are tired of being free labor. On the 1st of September, they are preparing a protest by not showing up to class. Their demands are clear and fair. Decent salaries, not crumbs. Stop forcing teachers to work in cotton fields, at school renovations or in weekend cleanups. Provide students with at least one free hot meal a day. Cancel the mandatory school uniform or provide it at state expense. Teachers appeal to doctors, police, judges, join us. Stop being part of the corrupt system. Stop taking bribes out of necessity. If the state pays only pennies, it is the state that is guilty, not the people. Unlawful arrests. Mothers search for their sons. The state searches for excuses. This week, Mother Olga Ageva publicly demanded information about her son, who was detained without reason and whose whereabouts remain unknown. This is not the first such case. Complaints about arbitrary detentions have become so routine that people are writing directly to the president, not because they believe in him, but because they have nowhere else to turn. The government has turned the complaint system into a void, but the state's duty is to protect its citizens, not ignore them. Ombudsman without email, independence without meaning. The Turkmen ombudsman does not even have an official email address. Want to complain? You must send it through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In other words, an institution that is supposed to be independent is kept on a short leash by the authorities. It is as absurd as asking firefighters to call the president's office before putting out a fire. And it proves once again that there are no independent institutions in Turkmenistan. International level of struggle, Turkmenistan under scrutiny. Activists continue to send letters daily to international organizations and world leaders. Among the issues raised is Article 30 of the Turkmen Constitution, which restricts freedom of movement. Turkmenistan signed international treaties but continues to violate them. The key message is simple: international. Commitments are stronger than a local article written only to suppress the people. The campaign, "If I Disappear, Do Not Stay Silent," has already reached an international level, and this is only the beginning. Protest in Turkey. Turkish citizens defend asylum seekers. On the 14th of August, a protest took place in front of the migration service in Turkey, organized by Turkish citizens. They demanded an end to unlawful deportations and the dismissal of the head of the migration service for crimes against asylum seekers. The names of Alisher Sahatov and Abdullah Orusov were mentioned during the rally. A clear signal: solidarity has no borders. The tragedy of the Taylagözel family. 14 children left without parents. Relatives of Taylagözel, who was killed, came to the president's palace demanding an independent investigation. They also called for the release of 2 innocent brothers, one of whom was the victim's husband. In both families there are 7 children each, 14 children, in total left without breadwinners. And the question remains, who will care for these children? The government, busy with parades and monuments to itself, or once again activists and ordinary citizens? Mass poisoning in Dashoguz. Silence is a poison more dangerous than the toxin itself. A mass poisoning occurred in Dashoguz. Dozens were affected, including children. Yet there is no official data. The authorities pretend nothing happened, as if admitting the truth would mean admitting their own failure. But hiding such facts puts the entire population at risk. People have the right to know the truth, at least to protect themselves. Iran International, investigation into Mossad and weapons. This week, the Iran International channel published a shocking investigation. It reported that weapons were being transferred through Turkmenistan's territory and that Mossad allegedly used Turkmenistan as part of its covert operations. This revelation is a global scandal, since Turkmenistan has long presented itself as a neutral state. The facts published by Iran International cast doubt on the entire concept of neutrality that the authorities have been hiding behind for decades. The question is now unavoidable. If Turkmenistan is truly neutral, how did its territory become linked to secret operations and weapons channels? Conclusion. Appeal to the citizens of Turkmenistan. All the news we share is based on facts and on the Constitution of Turkmenistan. We do not claim that such problems do not exist elsewhere in the world. The difference is simple. In other countries, citizens are informed and protected by the law, while in Turkmenistan, citizens are left in darkness. People must receive information at least through the media, and at best directly from the authorities. The state is obliged to provide assistance, care for the population, and address violations. Silence today means complicity, and the voice of the people, that is the Constitution, in action.